Hello, everyone. This is Vivian, and I hope that everyone is doing well. So, today I actually just wanted to talk about something that's not necessarily related to all of the bullshit that's going on these days because I am just so over it and it's important to talk about what's going on, but I just need a break from it all, from thinking about it, talking about it. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to talk about my own pursuit of truth and how that relates to me going into acting and pursuing acting. So, I know that there's a tendency for a lot of people, not just in the truth community, but especially, I think, in the truth community, to think that anyone who is an actor is automatically a liar and a deceiver. And so, although it could be true that a lot of actors, particularly the big famous celebrities that everyone sees, they certainly do play a major role in deceiving and, lying and, pushing all of Hollywood's crazy agendas and everything. But it's not true that just any average person who goes into acting and wants to become an actor or a performer, that they're a liar and a deceiver. And I know that that's not true for me. So I never once went into acting for reasons of achieving fame and fortune. That was never my goal or intention. I, you know, it's not bad to have fortune and wealth. It can certainly corrupt people when it gets very extreme. But being famous, I certainly never ever want to be famous, nor did I ever want to be famous. I never want to be famous. I can't imagine anything worse than being famous and being a celebrity and, being instantly recognizable and, having people follow you and just not being able to go anywhere without any privacy. That would actually be my worst nightmare. So I never wanted that. And I certainly have not achieved any big financial fortune by going into acting. Actually, it's really the opposite. If I had just become an accountant or something of that nature, like a quote unquote normal job, I would have in many ways had a much easier life, a much more financially stable and financially secure life. But that wasn't my calling, and that was not meant for me to go into something like that. And I like to joke that the acting or performance life didn't choose, I didn't choose it, it chose me. So which is really true. It's true. And yeah, I just felt the calling early on to go into this, to, get the acting and performance training when I was in school, and then to just pursue it. And that's the main reason why I lived in New York City for almost 6 years after I graduated from college. Even though New York City was never my ideal place to live in, it still is not, and I'm glad I'm out of there right now. It's really, it was always very difficult for me to live there because of all of the people, the crowds of people, the just all of the energies there and the lack of nature. And there's just really many reasons I could go on and on why it was very difficult for me to live in New York City. But, you know, I had to be there for my acting and performance pursuits. And so I just want to say that for me, acting is not about lying and deceiving anyone. For me, it has always been about finding and presenting the truth in imaginary circumstances, examining the truth of the human condition, and bringing stories to life. Okay, because I love stories. I always have ever since I was a little girl. I just was always into reading, and I've always had a vivid imagination. So with acting, my vivid imagination is put to good use. And so I was thinking about this recently, and thinking about the reasons why I went into acting and everything, which in many ways right now it's closed off to me because of what's going on and the requirements, right, for a lot of the things, particularly for live theater. I was thinking about why I went into it in the first place, and I realized that I was like very much into truth before I even realized that, before I knew anything about, you know, being a conspiracy theorist or a truther or the, you know, so-called truth community. So, and I figured I'd make a video on it and share with other people. There's an airplane going overhead right now, so I'm just gonna pause for a bit because it's a little bit loud. So, but as you can see, it's fall here. You can see the beautiful leaves all around me on the ground. So, wow, this airplane's really loud, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, and I was thinking how also my initial very initial like real awakening happened because of an incident that was related to me coming back from an acting thing that I was doing a few years, not a few years ago, back in 2016, in the summer of 2016. I don't think I'm gonna get into that whole story right now of what happened, but I just think that, you know, everything happened as it was meant to happen, I guess, you know. So yeah, it's like, also I just please nobody ask me what I've been in that you might have seen, because like I'm obviously not famous like I said, and don't want to be, and I haven't done any, you know, major big Hollywood things. I've done theater and independent film. So like I have not been in any big or mainstream things and productions, and I don't have any intentions of doing that, because I find that, like, if you just look at the things that Hollywood is producing in recent years, all of the mainstream things, they're just very much lacking in substance and quality. A lot of it is like, you know, a bunch of shit just blowing up. There's like no real plot or story. You know, they just they put you know, famous celebrities into the roles over and over again in different projects, and like, you know, it's like I'm just really not into it. I like a lot of old movies mostly, and yeah, so I'm I'm not into the whole Hollywood thing, but they obviously do present truth in some of the movies. And of course, we all know about predictive programming and all of that shit. But they, of course, they also push, you know, various agendas through their movies and TV shows. So yeah, I'm not about that. And yeah, so performing is just an aspect of who I am. Like, I have to do it in order to express myself, in order to be in a good mental state, a healthy mental state. I find it necessary to perform. Like, I have to perform. And I just want to make it clear right now, though, that in my videos, you know, that I put out on YouTube, like right now, and in my other videos that are not my performance videos, like, I am not performing, I am not acting. This is just me. This is who I am. This is how I am. I am not acting or performing or putting up a front really in any ways. So yeah, I just want to make that clear, that I'm actually being genuine. And when I do make a performance videos, like I have a few of them. I have a couple of monologue videos that I've put out, and a couple of burlesque act videos. And so I make it clear, you know, in the description of the video, and hopefully the video itself, that it's a performance video, that I am acting or performing. So that's not the case for my just, you know, videos where I just talk, like right now. Yeah, so I mean, I've been very like depressed about what's going on, you know, because I was doing theater in New York City for several years before all of this whole pandemic situation happened. And, you know, just being depressed that I can no longer do that because, again, they're asking for papers. And yeah, and I just don't really want anything to do with that anymore, as sad as that makes me. You know, it's hard, but yeah, you know, there are more important things, like having integrity. And like I said this probably in a previous video, but there are still, you know, various independent film projects that I am able to do without the requirements, because that really varies by production, based on what the producer or producers want and everything. So I can still act and perform, and I hope to really put out some more performance videos, original performance videos, you know, on my YouTube channel when I get around to it. I have been quite busy with things, so I haven't been able to work on things like that as I'm working on other things. But yeah, so what is up with all the airplanes today? I know you just probably heard the other one go overhead right now, but thankfully there's no people here in the woods today this time, unlike the other time last month when I made a video and there was, like, you know, there were a couple of people who came out of nowhere and sort of, you know, disrupted my flow of the video. Yeah, so again, you know what? There's another airplane. So anyway, it's a pretty chilly fall day, but I felt like coming out here and making a video. So yeah, because I really like fall. It's my favorite season. And I really love the leaves and all the colors. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to be here. You know, what really upsets me is when, like, all the people where I live, and not just where I live, like, this is a common practice, like, with the leaf blowers just blowing the leaves. Like, why can't people leave the leaves as they are, you know? Like, I just, I don't get it. Like, it's a part of nature. I just don't understand. And there's also always the constant mowing of the grass where I live too. I mean, it's just, it's got to be more than once a week that people around me are doing this. It's like constant. I feel like it's almost every day, to be honest with you. And I'm like, what? Can we leave the grass alone for a little bit? Why are we constantly cutting it? Like, let it grow a little bit. You know, people are so afraid of nature. They really are. Like, I know people who are really actually literally afraid to walk in the grass. I'm not even talking about being barefoot in the grass, like, you know, how some people ground. I ground when I'm able to. But I'm talking about, like, with shoes on, pants on, everything. Like, you're all covered up, and like they're afraid to, you know, walk in the grass. They're afraid of, like, you know, ticks and various other things, or, you know, I don't know. It's crazy to me how people are just really afraid of everything. There we go with another airplane. Okay, so I have never heard this many airplanes all at once. What was that? That was like 3 in a row. Okay, I don't know what's going on today, but yeah, it's, you know, it happens, right? Yeah, so anyway, I, like, to be honest, okay, again, with the, you know what? Just take this time to breathe with me. I'm just gonna take this time to take some deep breaths because I'm very sensitive to noise. And yes, the noise of the airplane, like this very loud noise, does bother me. So I'm just gonna breathe. You can breathe too. It's good to take deep breaths, you know. Okay, so I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, okay. So what I was going to say was that you know, since my last video last month on my birthday, like I feel like a lot has happened. And I've been pretty depressed about a lot of things, about the state of things. Not just, like, far from my own situation of not being able to perform in live theater. It's like, it's so far beyond that. It's really far beyond that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. Just, it's getting crazier and crazier, it feels like to me. So I feel like some days I'm just paralyzed, like mentally, emotionally paralyzed, and not able to do the things that I want to do, and the things, you know, accomplish the things that I want to accomplish throughout the day. And there's a lot of inertia happening for me, unfortunately, and I don't like that, but, you know, it does happen. And yeah, you know, it's just like, sometimes I feel like, what's even the point of anything? What's even the point of, you know, acting or performing? For me, like, you know, that's one of the things that I do, obviously, like I said, but like, I mean, I don't know. Like, even things that I used to enjoy and look forward to, now I'm just like, you know, it's whatever. Unfortunately, I don't like feeling like that, but just the way that I've seen people that I know, people in my family, and just people around me behave, it really is depressing, right? But I do try to stay positive for myself, and like I meditate and everything, but I feel like there's only so much that can accomplish. And hopefully we will get through all of this craziness and insanity. But I do feel like somebody commented this on Facebook yesterday. Somebody normal. It was a normal person who commented. Well, he made a post asking, how is everyone doing? And I basically said that I am so over everything, because that's essentially how I've been feeling, that I'm over it. I'm over everything. I'm done with everything. And he replied to me that, he can definitely see that, and that like it's like every glimmer of hope that we see is sort of overshadowed by everything that we have lost within the past almost 2 years. And I definitely agree with him on that, unfortunately. But I think there are still reasons to keep going. And I'm just glad that I have a lot of time to myself to sit and reflect on things, because last month especially, I was like extremely busy, and I'm busy this month too, but it's just not as much as last month. But I have less interaction with people in the outside world this month than I did last month, and it gives me time to really reflect on things and how I actually feel about things, my thoughts on things. And so I think that's good, because I think that in the modern world, a lot of people are really overly stimulated with everything. They constantly have the news on, like even when you go to like the airport or a gym, a lot of times if they have the TV on, they have like CNN on and everything. And then we also have obviously our cell phones and all of the endless notifications. I know I have an issue with that, like the notifications on my cell phone. Like I really need to be on my cell phone less. Like I really do. And but yeah, I mean, just going back to what I said earlier about why I went into acting and my pursuit of truth, like being in that, and just it allows me to see through the fakery, actually, the fakery of other things and other people, how fake a lot of people are, and just the fake presentations. Like, yeah, on the news, I do not watch the news. But if I ever see the news turned on, someone in my house is watching the news, a family member is watching the news, and it's on, and it's just like, oh my God, it's so fake to me. I can see right through it. Then there's nothing genuine about it. And it also always bothered me, the presentation of the news anchors, and just how they would talk, how they do talk and speak to each other, to the audience, it's like they're speaking to children in a lot of ways. And it's like they I don't know, people just don't speak that way in real life, you know what I mean? It's not a natural way of speaking. And like, I don't know, listen, like, I know that I myself, like, I don't have a regional accent as far as I know, even though I'm from New Jersey and like New York. I don't have the typical, Jersey or New York accent. I have like a, what would be called a general or standard American accent, where people can't really place what region I'm from generally, as far as I've been told. But yeah, like, I know I do enunciate very clearly, and that's just how I was raised. It's not even like the acting or anything, like, so. But there's something about the news people, the news anchors, where they, like, I don't know, they overly enunciate. And yeah, it's just it really, it's just like they're talking to children, where, which also bothers me too, when people do speak to actual children, like they treat them like they're stupid when they're really not. Like, like that they don't know anything, when they, in a lot of situations and circumstances, actually are much smarter than adults, because they're more intuitive. And a lot of adults have lost their intuition, their sense of intuition, if they even had any in the first place. But yeah, so I see myself, the fact that I've gone into acting and performing, I see it as both a blessing and a curse. Like, a blessing because, like, I do enjoy it, obviously, and I'm allowed to express myself, to an extent, depending on what the project or thing is. I can express myself, I can use my imagination and all of that. And yeah, it's just like, I enjoy it, but it's also a curse because, yeah, it's not a life of stability. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot of rejection all the time. And like, right now I'm at a place where I don't really care. Like, if I apply to a project and they don't get back to me, or they say that, oh, they went with someone else, like, I don't take it personally at all. I used to when I was younger. I like, it would make me feel really bad, but right now I'm just like, it's fine, like, I get it. But yeah, so, oh, another obviously good aspect of it is that it allows me to further discern all of the, like, theater that's going on in the world. Like, all the world's a stage, right? It really is. It really, really is. Even though it's not an actual stage, an actual theater, it might as well be. Might as well be. But yeah, so that's just what I wanted to talk about today. And I've said everything that I wanted to say for today. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening, and you will see me next time.